all. Hope you guys are having a fabulous Monday. All right, so last night, 90 Day Fiance, it was episode 10. We saw a 3 hour episode. So if I start talking really fast, it's because I need to condense 3 hours of content into a video that you guys will watch. And I have so much to say, but I'm going to have to cruise through it. So if you were able to watch the whole episode, you can still see it on TLC on the Go app on your phone or on TLC.com, or you can check your local listings, or you can go onto Hulu. I think it's on Hulu. Yeah. Anyways, so last night we had all the regulars. Everyone shows up, and it started out with David and Lana. Now, David and Lana is literally the most boring story of the entire season, and so I'm just going to say real quick, David goes and drives to Lana's apartment, and an old guy opens the door, and he's all like, I don't know who Lana is, and he's got his little app, and he's just like, well, this is her address, and he's just like, I've lived here since 1995, and I've never seen this woman before, and David walks out, and he's just like flabbergasted that she would like lie to him after all of these times and not give him the right address. And then the guy tells the TLC editors, like, if I were an American man, I would not come to Ukraine to meet a woman, because women from Ukraine are unlikely to actually meet people and more likely to stand them up. Aha! So are they scamming for money? According to that guy, maybe. All right, now after that happens, he walks out, he cries, he's all like, man, I can't believe Rose did that. I can't believe that Lana did this. Really, this is like the 15th time she stood you up, doofus. All right, now on to Rose and Ed. Now, this scene was probably the most uncomfortable of the entire episode, and we see Ed and Rose. They are back at Rose's sister's store. They're leaving. They're going to go on vacation because, Ed doesn't want to get all sweaty and sleep on the floor, and he gets all pissed off about how, like, the electricity and the shower with the dad and the rooster and the rat. So they've decided they're going to take a trip, and they're going to go to this island. And Rose gets to ride on a plane for the very first time. They go to Palawan Island, and it has like really cool sandy beaches. He says that they're going to just spend some quality time together. And Rose said that even though they can't bring her son Prince, it'll be a way for her to spend quality time with Ed and build their relationship if she plans to go to the United States to be with him. So when they wake up in the morning, this is where things go worse. Now, if you can't think of all the things that he has done this season to basically embarrass her, let's start. Proving he's a bad boyfriend. He lied to her about his height. He doesn't want to have more kids, but he hasn't told her that yet. He has told her that she needs to get her legs, shave them. He also wanted her to take a test, the kind that you take if you are concerned about things that you have from other people. And now he insults her breath. So he wakes up and he's like, I have some surprises for you. And then he shows her all these like creepy lingerie things and then a bathing suit, which looks literally is like the ugliest bathing suit I've ever seen. Poor Rose. Like, she doesn't have a bathing suit. Ugh. But then this is where he's like, I didn't notice Rose. Like, the first thing I noticed about Rose was her breath, and it's terrible. Really, Ed? You had to say that. This girl has not been complaining about the fact that you're shorter than her or that you lied to her about her height. You're bigger than you said. You're kind of a tool bag. You're super rude. You're rude to her family. You complain about everything. But nope, she's got bad breath. And so he gives her some Listerine, a toothbrush, and he's like, your breath is not pretty. Ugh. And then he's like, my concern for you is your health. That's not what you said, Ed. You said her breath stunk. And then she tells him, I brush my teeth all the time. It's because I have an ulcer and I take care of my teeth. If you look at Rose on the show, her teeth look fine. Literally. Looks like nothing's wrong with her teeth. So Ed, losing points. And he's just like, oh, well, I didn't know that. That's the first time you're telling me that. Well, why don't you ask her instead of off camera, instead of talking to her about this on camera? Oh, that's right. It would make better TV, Ed. Sure. Sounds good. I wonder if the producers had anything to do with that. Anyway, she says that she would like to punch him in the face, and she calls him a rude person, and then he's like, I love you, and she's like, she mutters in her, I don't know what language she actually speaks, and she says, you're ugly. Okay, now Ashton Avery. Now these two are going to be like pretty heavy in the show because listen, you guys, this guy is such a tool bag. A tool bag. So they're headed back to Melbourne. I don't know. And she's skeptical about his business because if you remember last episode, he was like, I'm single. 68 women are in my text messages, but I'm single. Like, whatever. And so like she thinks that, that, he might be doing things with his clients that she doesn't understand. And so she wants to see him in action and see what he does. So they're going to go to a seminar. They're going to go back off their vacation. They're going to get on a plane, blah, blah, blah. Ash's thing is, well, I just think she feels intimidated or threatened because, I'm a single man and I have so much to offer. You guys, Ash is the biggest, sexist POS in my estimation. He is one of those guys that literally believes that men are way smarter than women. That's just my opinion. So then he tells her that his ex-wife Sienna is going to has agreed to meet her. The seminar is at 10 in the morning. Avery's excited. She gets to watch him and see how he conducts himself around the women. And then she's like, do you target yourself to is it to men and women or is it to just single women? And he's like, oh, I target to everyone. We'll get there. And he said, mostly women just showed up. Okay, so then we get to Darcy and Tom, which, by the way, why are we still talking about these two? So Darcy's at home unpacking, and she's literally I was going crazy. I was like, Darcy, just dump out your thing, and why are you unpacking so slowly? It was so, well, anyways. She is talking about how, she's never going to go back to that. She's had too much time wasted in Tom. Why would she ever want to talk to him? She hasn't blocked, blah, blah, blah. And then we go to Tom, and Tom's like, I'm going to write a letter to Darcy. Who cares about the part that I have another girlfriend on another continent and totally lied to her about it and then last week called her fat? I'm going to write a letter to her and see if we still have a part, if we can make this work. Tom, I'm pretty sure you lost your opportunity to have an option with her when you A, had another girlfriend, and B, shamed her size. Anyways, he drives to Connecticut. He is going to tell her about how this relationship needs to be built from the bottom up, and he really wants to explore what's going to happen here, and he wants to connect with her, and she's a great person, and he needs to see her to have this conversation. Maybe we can have our happily ever after. No, Tom, you probably can't, because guess why? You have another girlfriend in Europe and you totally called her fat. Okay, moving on. Erica and Steph. Now, this is unique because we finally see them actually getting along. So they actually make up from last week's argument where she asks Erica's boyfriend or friend Adam about their relationship. And remember, Erica stormed off and she got a cab home and she left. Well, they meet up and they talk about what happened. They go to the botanical gardens, which, by the way, she's dressed completely inappropriate to be walking around the botanical gardens. She's got a super cute dress on and wedges. But girl, know what you're supposed to be doing. A botanical garden is rustic. You need to have good walking shoes. Anyways, so they start talking about things and, Erica basically says to her, I'm just exhausted with having the same conversations with you over and over and over again. I couldn't believe you left last night. Stephanie says to her, I can't believe that, you wouldn't even look at me and all your friends were mad at me. And so I just had to leave and you were in tears. And, Erica starts talking to her about everything that you're getting mad about, you knew about me beforehand. So why didn't you address this with me before you came here? Why is it an issue now? She said, you knew about my friends. You knew about my life and you're acting as though you're surprised. And she said, and you also said that when we were getting to know each other, you couldn't wait to hug me. You couldn't wait to kiss me. And now you're not affectionate with me. This confuses me. And then Stephanie admits that she has a lot of insecurities. She's not a perfect person. She portrays herself a certain way online, which is not who she is in real life. They sort things out. They're going to keep trying. They're going to do clean slate. And they get close to almost touching, but they don't. Okay. So they get everything settled at the botanical garden. Now, these two, Varya and Jeffrey. I hate Jeffrey. I hate Jeffrey. All right, so they're in Russia, they're in Siberia still, and he is talking with her about how, he didn't want to tell his mom or her mom or brother about his past because everyone judges him, and to be honest, she says, well, to be honest, I'm still thinking about this for myself, if this is okay for me or not. I'm still not totally sure, and then in an interview, she says, well, he says he's grown and he says he's a better person, but I'm still not sure if I want to be with someone who has, all of this stuff on his records. And she said, she also admits she never told Jeffrey about all the terrible things that his mom said about her mom, saying about him, basically, I don't support this, you shouldn't be with him, your fairy tale is over. She told him none of that. And she says that she talked to her mom afterwards, and her mom was basically just you need to think about things, think about it again and think about it again. And Varya's worried that her mom will never accept Jeffrey, but they're going on a camping trip, so they got to go. So that's that. Nothing actually gets figured out there. Now, on to Baby Lisa and Usman. Wow, have they been busy on social media lately? I am sorry to have everything plugged up with these two, but oh my God, the drama has been thick with them. Now, Usman and Lisa, they are going to go to mommy to get her blessing for the gun. Because remember last episode, they went and prayed with her in the mosque, and then mommy still wouldn't give her the blessing then. And so now they have to go there again because they're going to be leaving, and they have the whole wedding plan and blah, 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 blah. And so when they get there, mommy is praying outside of their house. And Lisa has her veil on, and she like doesn't wrap it around her. She's just like holding it like this. So she looks kind of ridiculous, not because of her veil, but just because like, why don't she just wrap it around? So like, it's just weird. The veil wasn't fitting. She didn't think this through, and she just threw it on at the last minute. In my opinion, if you're going to go and you're going to play the part, get your veil in check, Lisa. All right, girl. All right. So they get there, mommy's praying outside of the house, and the mom basically tells the producers, like, in our culture, they don't really allow younger men to marry older women, and she's afraid that if she goes to the United States, that Lisa will make him a servant, and, well, and then, there's that whole thing where the whole trade that happened, and that sort of stereotype is still prevalent, and then there's still the issues here in the United States with the state of the world and how black men are treated. So it's obviously a concern and a valid one. And so Lisa basically says to her, like, can you tell mommy that you're coming to the United States to be my husband because you'll have a better opportunity for jobs. The job market is way stronger. You'll be able to be more successful, but that we'll still come back and visit her and still be able to spend time with her. And then he says to mommy, like, Lisa wants me to marry her. Not like I want to marry Lisa, but Lisa wants to marry me. And then I can go to the United States and get a better job. And the mom's like, so did you agree to this? And he's like, yeah, I did. That's fine with me. Like, he made it sound like a business transaction. Like, listen, she wants to marry me. I'm going for a job. Okay, mom? And are you okay with that? And then the mom's like, let me think about it. And then there's like, like all that like drama. And then eventually the mom says, all right, I'm fine with it. They want to be together. Let them get married. It's fine. Okay. Yolanda, don't have a picture of her because she is so ridiculous. I can't stand Yolanda. This is the most scripted storyline. I can't believe people are this stupid, and I don't think they are. And she's going on and on and on about Williams and how, she thinks he's hacked, and she's on this walk with her kids, Devontae, and I don't remember what her daughter's name is, and they're talking about how she got a message from this chick online that said, oh yeah, Williams said he was hacked and lost all his data, and that's why you got that message that like some stuff is going to be leaking out of you. It's not like, oh, he's totally caught and he's not who he says he is, because guess what? It's totally a catfish. And the mom, her son and daughter are just like, nah, this is like totally a catfish. And mom's like, no, his friend confirmed it and his account was hacked. Yolanda, you are a terrible actress, and this is the fakest storyline. The end. Okay. Now, back to Avery and Ash. They arrive at the seminar, you guys, and it's a freaking hot mess. First off, he claims that this is like, he targets this for both men and women, but it's like how to keep a man or something like that. And they arrive at the seminar, and Avery's like, I'm not going to bring him to America if I'm not cool with this. And the actual title of the seminar is Finding Mr. Right. And so he admits that most of his work is one-on-one, but seminars can be more lucrative. And so there's 7 women sitting at the seminar, and he's like, today we're going to talk about how to find a man and not kill him. And he goes on to this like diatribe about how men have boxes in their heads and women have squiggly like spaghetti in their brains. It reminded me when I was in church one time and the pastor called a man's head a waffle and a woman's spaghetti. And I was like, sexist, 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 and that's not how brains work. Anyways, he insists that, men have all of everything compartmentalized in their brains, and so they don't get emotional about things. Oh, really? Men don't get emotional about things? Yeah, right. Okay, and that women's brains are all interlinked, and so they get super overwhelmed about everything. Men and women can both get overwhelmed about things, and men and women can both think about things more than one thing at a time. And when women start like sort of pushing back, he gets kind of flustered, and he's just like, what? And he's like, if a woman sees something, very small, they can make it really big. It can be a big deal. And men, we just want to spend time in our nothing place. And when we're in our nothing place, we're the happiest. And that's why we can go fishing for 6 hours, because we don't want to think about anything. And like, one of the ladies is like, do you recognize that both men and women can have masculine and feminine energy? And this whole energy thing, it's not real. It's stupid. It's like, this is like woo-woo crap. Like, what did he do? Like, go online and go to like some, like, I don't know, self-help guru that meditates and is all like, female energy, male energy. Like, no, that's not how it works. Women can be logical, men can be illogical. Women can be emotional, men can be emotional. Women can compartmentalize, men can compartmentalize. So one of the ladies thinks that Ash is totally out of his depths. He's being super sexist. Avery thinks he's being super sexist. And then he's just like, no, men are very logical. That's just who we are. So it's like a prerequisite that the sex of a man determines logicalness, because in my house, I'm the more practical and logical one. Okay, anyways, moving on. Not saying my husband's a bad person. I'm just saying, like, you can be a woman and be logical and practical. Okay. Now, Rose and Ed, she was embarrassed by him, so he's like, I gotta make it up to her, so I'm gonna take her on this boat trip. And of course, he gets super, super, like, bitchy and complaining, because what does he do? He goes on a boat and he takes her to this place that has monkeys. Yes, monkeys. And the monkey island would be super cool if you actually understood monkeys. Hey, you know what monkeys do? They jump. And sometimes they like food, and they like to interact with people, especially if people are all around them, because monkeys can be social. They also can be kind of tyrants. And so when they get to the park off the boat, there's these little monkeys on the floor, and he's got bags coming out of his like backpack, and the little monkey is jumping on the backpack, and he's like, grabs it, and he's like, ah, I got your bag, and he runs away, you know, like that in Monkey. He's like, ah! I don't know what he actually said. Anyways, he's like totally like, oh my God, what are we doing? Rose thinks the monkeys are great. The monkey jumps on his back again, steals his banana. He's like, we gotta go. So even when he tries to do something fun for Rose, he's still kind of a tool bag, and he mopes and complains. Then they go to dinner, and he talks about how he wants to have a commitment with Rose, but you know, there's just that one thing holding him back. Yeah, Ed, it's all about what's holding you back, right? Like, there's not things holding Rose back. Like, say you made her shave, you embarrassed her about her breath, you told her you worried that she might have stuff in her places that you like to go downtown on, and you're like super embarrassing. But whatever, it's all about you, Ed. I think you're a narcissist, my opinion. Anyways, he's like, your sister Maria asked me for money for help, and she asked me that I not tell you. So did you know about that? And then Rose just is like, what? Cut to Tom and Darcy. Back to Tom and Darcy. Seriously? Ugh. Okay. So Darcy doesn't want to hear what Tom had to say. She's like, you know, he's like, you're a nice, wonderful woman. You're a great mom, you know. And she's all like, you should have said that before. And he's just like, I just wanted to see you and give you this letter and put it in my own words. And then she's just like, nope, bye. And she leaves. And she like storms off, and she wants nothing to do with him. All right, so cut, end scene. And then he places the letter on her car, and he leaves. And he's like, of course Darcy would ruin this. Of course. No, Tom, you ruined it when you did the hokey pokey with another chick across the world, and you lied to Darcy about it. It's her fault. It's not her fault. Okay. Now, Erica and Steph, they go to throw a boomerang. Super cool. The guy actually teaches us, this old Aboriginal guy who actually makes the boomerang, says that back in the day, they used to use boomerangs for hunting to get kangaroos. Who knew? I didn't. That was like the more you know. Okay, so they get there, and they introduce, you know, they're like, let's throw some boomerangs, which, by the way, they are terrible at. Erica actually Stephanie actually introduces Erica as her special friend, because she's like, I'm just here to, like, you know, throw a boomerang, and I don't know how this guy feels about these, you know, my situation, and I don't want to get into a debate. I don't want to make it weird. I just want this to be what it is, you know, because he's like, how are you? Where are you from? So you came here to visit your friend? And she's like, my special friend. And then Erica laughs about the special friend part. Then Stephanie tries to throw the boomerang, and she's really, really bad at it. And then, you know, they have a ton of fun, and Erica tries to throw the boomerang, and they actually, like, Stephanie gets a kiss. Stephanie kisses Erica, and Erica's like, oh, a kiss? And then they kiss on the lips. And then Erica's just like, this is why I love her. She's loud, she's funny, she's energetic. So they had a good day. They like each other again, and they're going to go to dinner, and they leave hand in hand. Back to Jeffrey and Varya. They go camping. They are going to go meet up with Igor. He's described by Jeffrey as a burly Russian that he met in Cancun. They translate back and forth through an app. He's a typical Russian, according to Varya, that likes fishing, hunting, and vodka. They get to the camping site. They drink vodka. They make kebabs. Varya tells Igor when Jeffrey walks off to go to the bathroom in the woods with a shovel and a roll of toilet paper, like that she's kind of concerned about him. Igor tells her that he has his whole life in front of him and he's a good guy, and that, he really likes Jeffrey and really thinks he's great. And he's like, what do you want? She's like, well, I want to meet my other half, and maybe he is my destiny. Maybe I want to spend my life with him. Back to Ashton Avery. Okay, Ash goes out of the room after getting totally flustered by the ladies, like basically telling him that he's a sexist pig. And he's like, I just feel like I really effed up and I lost my train of thought. And Avery's like, no, it's fine. Just talk about the love languages. Okay, yeah. So you developed the love languages? So you just basically use other people's content to coach people? Got it. Sounds good. That makes you the mind body coach. I got it. That makes you the guru, Ash. So he goes back in and he's going to talk about the love languages. And he's like, you have to figure out, everyone has their own love languages. There's physical, there's giving, there's acts of blah, blah, blah. He goes through all of the different ones, And he's like, and you just have to figure out what your man wants, because men don't know this. Men don't know their love languages. And so the lady's like, so wait, I have to figure out what he wants, and I have to dissect that, and I have to just assume this. So I have to do all the work. And he's like, well, yes, because men don't know how to do these things. Men can't figure these out. Women are very emotional and men are just not. Men like to fix problems and we make money. We are cavemen. Women are stay home, make babies. Your grandma, grandpa, that's what they did, make babies. Men go to work. It was like very caveman. And he was like, back in the day, the men just knew what to do. And now women just, they don't know what to do anymore. Anyways, he talks about how, men are naturally masculine and you have to have feminine and masculine in a relationship. Wait a minute. What about two women that are in love? What about two men that are in love? You don't have to be a masculine and a feminine. And you don't have to have masculine characteristics or feminine characteristics. You just have characteristics. And characteristics are not classified by being man or woman. They're just characteristics. But he, in his little peanut brain mind of getting his, coaching online, I'm sure he bought his degree from some place where he could pay $5 for it, is like, no, you need to attract the opposite energy of you. So if you are masculine, you need a feminine. And if you are feminine, you need a masculine. And if you just attract the same as you, then you're just having a friend. Yeah, right, okay. And the women don't agree with any of the things they say, and the lady leaves and she's like, I just didn't find any of that useful. And Avery is like completely outraged. She thinks he is so off the mark. He is so sexist, and she cannot even believe that this is the person that she's dating. Okay. Now Usman and Lisa, they're at a fruit stand and they're going to start talking about, Usman wants to brush some things out. So he says there's some things that they need to sort out before they ever get back, before they ever move forward in this relationship. And so, he says, Lisa's like, there's that one thing you still have to do for me. You need to propose for me. And Usman's like, here, Lisa, here's the thing. If we get married, you're not going to be the leader, because I'm the leader in my culture, and the man of the husband is the person that gets to do what they want. And you don't get to tell me what to do, because you're always like, go in there, go do that. You cannot speak to me like that, because you are not I am not your child. And he's like, only I can speak to you like that. And she's like, I'm not an effing dog. I'm not a cat. I'm not a rooster. You don't get to talk to me like that. And she's like, he just thinks he's going to be the alpha male, and that's not going to work, because Americans, we are not obedient. Preach it, girl. Preach it. Okay. She's like, he cannot shout at me. And he's like, you cannot shout at me. You can't tell me what to do. I get to do whatever I want. I can counsel with you and get advice from you, but ultimately it's my say. And he's like, and if we're going to work this out, and we need to get this onto the same page before we get married. And then she's like, well, I guess we're not getting married. She flips him off and she walks away. Go, Lisa. Okay. Now, to David, he's leaving Ukraine. He can't believe that there was so many. Did he miss red flags, you guys? He's all, did I miss red flags? I don't know. Going there 3 times before, and being stood up 17 times could have been the red flags. Or maybe the fact that you've never had her phone number. You only use it dating app to communicate with her, and the fact that you send her stuff, but she keeps standing you up. Those could be the red flags. He says that he can't say that he's totally done with Lana because if she sends him a message and says she wants to continue, he'll keep doing this to himself. So David's just a sucker. I don't want to ever see David on this show again, and the storyline is boring. Okay, back to Erica and... Hold on. All right, back to Erica and Steph. So they are going to go cage swimming with sharks, which is super cool, by the way. And Erica is trying to show her all the sights of Australia. And, you know, Steph's worried about, like, the hygienics of, like, the masks and everything because they have this big cage and then they have to, like, put this, like, mouthpiece in because they jump onto the cage and then they breathe through that while they're down looking with goggles at the sharks sort of around the cages, okay? And she said that this is like something she's totally terrified of. And even though she's concerned about like her health and stuff, if she really loves someone, she will go to the ends of the earth with them. And so she has asked them if they could extra sanitize everything. But she's willing to do all of this because she loves Erica and she wants to just have fun with her and make memories with her. And if she's in Australia, they might as well do that. And so they go down and they look at the sharks and they hold hands while doing it. It's actually kind of sweet. They get out. They both see this relationship working long term. They kiss, they hug. Eric tells Steph that she's super proud of her. And then they sort of start talking about, you know, whether or not they're going to have to come out to their parents. Erica says that she needs to tell her parents and she wants to introduce Steph while she's there as her girlfriend. Steph isn't ready yet. They take a photo. Erica's like, are you going to send this to your mom? Steph's like, I don't know yet. I'm not ready yet. I was supposed to tell her before, and there's just so much with this. But Eric is just like, you know what? I'm going to do it. So she said that she hopes that Steph will eventually get there, but she supports Steph at this point in time, not doing it right now. Okay. So Ed and Rose are back at dinner, and he's like, basically like, did you know about the money stuff? And Rose is just like, do you think I love you because of the money? And he's like, well, why did Maria tell me not to tell you? And she's like, I'm just hurt. I'm hurt that you think that I want you for the money. I'm hurt that you would think that all of these things. She felt shocked. And she actually says, like, I had no idea my sister did this. I don't know why she didn't tell me. I don't know why she told you not to tell me. I don't know. She says that she wants Ed because she loves Ed. She wants to have a family with Ed. And he says that he believes her, that he was fooled by her sister and that he will never, like, he's totally fine and he trusts her. And then she admits in an interview that she's angry with her sister because she knew that her sister was having financial troubles, but she didn't think that her sister would go behind her back. She said she loves Ed and she doesn't want, like, money to be a factor here. And he's just like, she's like, so are you, is that okay now? And he's like, yes. And he's like, well, what do you want? And she's like, you know, Ed, I just want to love you and I want to be with you. And it's not about money. I just want to be with Prince and I want to have 2 babies with you. And then he's just like, oh, I have to tell her about the vasectomy that I want. Because, you know, he went there lying about his height and telling her he wanted kids when he didn't want kids. Ed is like the complete tool bag that no woman deserves. And if I was Rose, I would say, run. Okay, back to Darcy. Darcy and her sister are in her room and they're like yammering on about what a tool bag Tom is. And her sister's all like, he 2-timed you and this is so this and this is so that and blah, 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 blah. And Darcy's just like, yeah, I'm not having it. This is so dumb and blee, 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 blee. You know, and he moved on and he fell in love with the girl and I'm tired of this games. And Darcy's like, go out there and rip up the letter. And then her sister goes up and rips out the letter and then it's over. Okay. Now, back to Ash and Avery. They are actually on a walk on a pier, and she is really upset with what happened. Ash, she's like, how did that go? And he's like, it didn't go well. I don't think people understood what I was trying to say or what I was doing. No. They knew what you were saying. They just didn't agree with you. And I've noticed with Ash that if you don't agree with him, he thinks it's because you're not smart enough to understand what he's saying. He's like that guy. He's one of those con men. It's like, no, you just don't understand. I'm so much smarter than you, and I'm going to show you how much smarter I am. It's just that you're so dumb you can't grasp this. That's basically what he told her. And then Avery's basically just like, no, like, she's like, feminine and masculine energy has nothing to do with gender. And he's like, yes, it does. And she's like, no, it doesn't. And she's like, there's plenty of women that can carry masculine energy. There's plenty of men that can carry feminine energy. And he's like, you can't classify things in such black and white ways. And when you point fingers and tell people that this is how it is and this is how you are, they're going to get frustrated with you and they're going to push back. And then, of course, he's like, she's patronizing me. I don't like the way that she's talking with me. She just doesn't understand because she's not a coach and she just doesn't get it. I'm so much more evolved. Like, that's pretty much how he was talking. And he says to her, you release hormones, so that makes you happier. What? I'm pretty sure both men and women release oxytocin, which is like the happiness drug. So it has nothing to do with the lady parts down there. Now, can we get a little bit more emotional from our time of the month? Sure, but that's not every day of the month. Oh, I hate when guys use the hormone cards. I guess when you guys are like, what do we blame it on when you guys have your hissy fits? The hormones? Okay, so and he's like, well, what about it? Like when there's an issue, a man will stand and protect you. And that's what they do. Men are protectors. Women are not like that. Okay, caveman Jack. And then she's like, I sense that you are getting riled up and I sense that you are defensive with these women. And he's just like keeps getting more and more defensive and yet says he's not defensive. And he's like keeps implying that she doesn't understand what he's talking about. And Ash basically like says that, you know, he's not wrong. She doesn't get it. And he storms off. And he's like, well, everything is my fault. It's not my fault. They just don't get it because nobody's as smart as me. Now, for the record, he has disabled everything on his Instagram because everyone is basically thinks that he's a turd monkey that doesn't know anything about relationship coaching. Then we go back to Yolanda and her kids, and they're going to look up the catfishing photo, and of course we get no resolution, and that's it. End scene. Okay. Whew. That was really fast and furious, and I want to thank you so much for sticking with me. I'm so sorry I did that talking so fast, but if I wouldn't have done it at that speed, this would have lasted 47 hours, and I want you to actually enjoy this. Now, obviously, way more than that happened, and I just gave you high levels, but if you want to check out the full episode, make sure you do on the TLC app, Go TLC, or on TLC's website or through Hulu. Otherwise, I will have, obviously, more tea from the cast this week because this group can't stay off the social media and start drama. If you've missed anything, I've got tons of videos with Lisa and Usman pretending like they're still together. And I'm going to see if I can get in touch with any more of the cast to see if I can get some interviews. Who knows? Usman wants $500 from me for an interview, so I'm just going to say next. All right, you guys. So next week, will Ash figure out he's a total tool bag? Will Ed finally tell her about the fact that he doesn't want more kids? Will David grow a brain? Will Yolanda finally go away? Will Jeffrey and Varya finally do something? Will Erica and Steph take it to the next level and come out? And will Darcy finally squeeze out tears? You'll find out next week on Before the 90 Days. Also, you guys, in May, the new season of 90 Day Fiance, The Other Way, is coming back, and Jenny's going to be back. And so will Devin and Jehoon. All right, you guys, I'll be back later with more. Bye.